it's another sign of the apocalypse. Eddie Fennell's leaving the newspaper business. If you hadn't caught on that we're going down the tubes yet, this makes it official. And it's a shame, and it's not going to be as much fun at work. Even though the Gamecocks have now beaten my Clemson Tigers 3 straight years, none of the games close. Eddie's always been relatively merciful.
Okay, Eddie, I've got 2 things to say. I remember back in the day when we used to play football at Hazel Parker Playground, and how you always said that if you could get behind anyone, you could catch any football, and you told us what a great athlete you were. And I also remember that this will always be in the annals of the Post and Courier, is that when you couldn't find a file on soldiers who had died at Folly Beach, you called up Mary Crockett and she told you to look under Yankees, dead, and that's where you found the information you needed.
Well, we're gonna miss Eddie around here a lot. It's not gonna be the same. Me and Christy talk all the time about how it's gonna be very sad in a different place without Eddie around here to tell us his jokes and about his prank calls, but luckily he gave us a CD of all of the prank calls. And I hope that he gives us another one before he takes off, because we only got volume 1 so far.
Eddie was my introduction to the Post and Courier. When I started here 15 years ago, they sat me in this desk where I've been ever since. But at the time, Eddie sat right next to me. And I had the rare privilege of starting at the Post and Courier just before the Monica Lewinsky scandal broke. So I got to hear Eddie's talks on what he thought about Bill Clinton every day, which the upside was it was a break from his, expositions on Bobby Cox. But anyway, he sort of set the tone for my experience here, and I really hated that he moved away, because I enjoyed having him here for a desk mate. In a lot of ways, he is the Post and Courier.
Now, Eddie, I'm the one that's the blast from the past here, and I have to remind you of something that you might have long since forgotten. Before I ever started the newspaper in 1978, I dated your brother Jerry, and back then he was an avid Republican, and I heard very wild stories about how you were absolutely not a Republican. And so when I finally met you when I came to the newspaper, I was like just blown away by how interesting a person you were. And of course, back then you were the UFO king. If there was a UFO story to be had, you were on the beat. And we all just waited to see what you would come up with.
And we're also gonna miss getting our Beatles CDs. I'm excited about this one that I got yesterday as a going away present. I haven't put it in my car yet.
I know a lot of people think that you like the Beatles and you put on this big act all these years when it's really the Monkees that you prefer. And you said to me privately that they were better than the Beatles any day of the week.
Welcome to the Family Feud. Tonight, it's the loser family from Old Town Acres versus the inbred family from Linnavar. And here's your host, Max Overby.
Welcome everybody to the Family Feud, today's special edition, and I'm Max Overby, your host today. And I want to let everybody know the special edition is just about Eddie Fennell. All the questions and answers are all about him. We've surveyed over 100 homeless men, and we want you to try to match their questions on the board today. And the question today is, what is one of Eddie Fennell's favorite topics?
Gamecocks.
Whoa, show us the Gamecocks.
We got cars like you ain't never seen before.
These cars are pretty, they're shiny, and they sit well.
And, as you can probably guess, this car here is fully crash tested.
This is Guy Friendly. Mrs. Elma Tunhuse will now try even more pain relievers.
Big Eddie and his buddies have decided to kidnap Louie, violin case and all, and make him a deal he cannot refuse. Who writes this stuff? But will Louie kill the Godfather for $60 and a night at Swenson's with Big Eddie's sister?
That's right. All this month, TV 99 Active News is shifting into high gear and going house to house just to give you all the news. And looking just right.
From the producers of Are You Smarter Than a Fourth Grader? Is the exciting new game show Are You Faster Than Eric Meinhardt Chasing Down a Whacked Out Teenager Who Just Hit Your Car?
I thought this was Cash Cab.
Granger, that's not a cab.
I know, but I thought it was all computer effects.
Just when you thought it was safe to give your dog a bath, comes Honey, I Shrunk the Dog.
Pizza over here.
He wants pizza. What is one of Eddie's favorite topics?
Tatiana.
Tatiana. Is Tatiana on the board? I think so. Tatiana.
Eddie, this is the end of an era. We're going to miss you. You were the only person who is still here, who was here when I started working. Back when you had all black hair and I was Elsa Freeman. We've had good times over the years. You've done a great job. And you've done it all with a sunny personality that we all love to hear when you come in the newsroom. And we all do hear it because you project so that we can.
The regular thing with Eddie is he sits outside my office down there, I don't know, 30 feet or something. You can hear what Eddie's having to say. You're not having to wonder what Eddie's got on his mind because he'll sing out with it.
And we're all going to miss you at Christmas time, asking if we're going to get a bonus this year, because you were always good to do that for us.
Hey Ed, this is Glenn. I'm sitting here at your desk, which to the uninitiated might appear somewhat messy, but I think Ed has actually removed about half of the debris field that used to occupy all this space. This would be a good name for Ed's desk as well, the Rant Zone, as we've heard many a rant from Ed about the indignities he's suffered trying to obtain his email from the company, as well as all of the poor managing that Bobby Cox did over the year with the Braves.
Eddie refuses to give Bobby Cox the credit he's due as one of the great baseball managers of all time.
Name something Eddie may complain about.
Bobby Cox.
Show me Cox!
I am currently photo editing Jim Parker's photos, but now I will no longer ever have to tone Eddie's photos again. I'm sitting here at the computer. The reporters put in their pictures, and Eddie is one of our favorite people who comes back here and sits in this reporter chair and edits his photos, and he has to read these long line of directions, but he probably has it memorized after so many years of putting his pictures in. And he comes back and asks us what we've been doing, and he says hi to Les, and we just will miss Eddie back here in the photo department.
As you go forward, I want you to go find some more UFO stories. And, don't forget about the Beatles, too. That was a really fun time when you would bring Beatles stuff in and then search for comic books along with Fred.
Light bulb lady, softball.
So we are all going to miss you, and I hope you have a great retirement.
I think a good way to kind of keep us updated on your life would be to tweet your stories from now on.
Anyway, Ed, we've known each other a long time. Did not work with you back in the day when you had that great fro. Wish I could have seen it, but have been with you through fighting to get information out of Reuben Greenberg, a number of different cop agencies, and through it all, you always kicked out some really good stories. I wish you best of luck in your retirement. Cheers.
Anyway, good luck, Eddie, and come back around. And boy, I hate doing this because it means you're leaving. And thanks for having a lot of fun with us through the years.
I'm sure everybody's been talking about how much they're going to miss Eddie from a personal level. I mean, everyone has said he knows how to tell a story. He's likable. He can dance. I'm going to miss Eddie from a professional level. I can't talk about enough what it's like to have somebody that you know is working into the night, is finishing off a story, or is chasing that breaking news story, and I always knew it was in good hands with Eddie. I knew when I sent Eddie to a crime scene that he was not only going to get the story, he would get the money quote. Over and over again. And with working with you, Eddie, you go out there and you would come back with this energy, and you'd start telling me how it went with the words, "You wouldn't believe who I talk to." People like to talk to Eddie, just like they like to talk to him here. They talk to him out in the street. Something about Eddie, the chemistry, his way with people makes them feel assured, and that always helped him in getting the story. And I'm going to miss seeing Eddie get the story.